Today we're gonna build and animate on Webflow this page and create this easy and custom transition. And yeah, we're gonna have fun with animation while scrolling the view and also show that we can do some stuff made in Webflow. We don't need to use all the time JSAP or custom code. So we're just gonna have fun with Webflow. So let's go. All right. So now let's see how we're gonna build all this. So first, we're gonna build the website in static. It means without any animation. And in second step, we will build the animation. I remember that our animation is to make disappear these 4 divs. And for that, we need to understand before building static, to understand what we're gonna do in terms of animation. Like that, we prepare the field, we prepare all the elements, and like that, after in the second step, we just need to animate it. So it's super easy. I mean, the first section is really easy to build. We're gonna build together. And also this one, we're gonna build together, and we're gonna analyze right now what we're gonna do. And for this, it's easy. What's the goal? The goal is that meanwhile these elements disappear, the image stay in our screen, and once everything disappear, the image can go to reveal the last section. We have 3 sections. We have 3 sections. The first one, the second one, and the last one. So for that, it's pretty easy. First, we're gonna create a wrapper that you can see here in orange, and we're gonna set a size, a height of 300 VH. And what we're gonna do after is inside this wrapper, we're gonna add our image in one wrapper also, and that we're gonna set as a 100 V width and 100 VH, and we're gonna set up as a sticky element. Like that, our image will stay sticky, so we'll stay on the view. Meanwhile, we are scrolling in this wrapper of 300 VH. And the last thing is we will create the animation, and we will say, meanwhile we are scrolling this wrapper of 300 VI, you make disappear all these elements, like that. And that's it. So now we're gonna jump into Webflow. Also, before jumping to Webflow, if you like the channel and the content we propose, drop a like on this video or a comment, and also subscribe to the channel to receive a notification when a new video appears. So thanks for that. And you can see I already set up my style guide, because like that, I mean, I don't need to show you all this boring step, and we're gonna start to build directly the width. So first we're gonna add a div, and we're gonna create this, our first section. So we're gonna call hero section. We're gonna give a size of 100 the width, so like that, doesn't matter the width of my screen, it will fit, and a height of 100 VH, like that, doesn't matter the size of the height of my screen, it will fit also. Now I'm gonna add a heading, and I copy my text. What I like to do, it's just in case, I always like to wrap my element, so I'm gonna call hero title wrapper. So inside I have my element, and I'm gonna justify center, and to my heading I also gonna align center, like that, doesn't matter if I change the name, it will be center. So that's it. Hero title is set. I give a width of, and a height auto, I mean width, I'm gonna say 100%, like that, I'm sure that my wrapper fit with the width of his parents, the hero section. So this is done, and now we're gonna add another wrapper called hero p wrapper, and in this wrapper I'm gonna of course add my paragraph. So I select my hero wrapper, I'm gonna also give a automatic high and a width of 100%. Just in case, flexbox, align top, justify center. And to my paragraph, I'm gonna also select all paragraph or change the settings of all the paragraph on my page. And I'm gonna align center also. So that's it. And what I'm gonna do now is, of course, copy the text. I select my paragraph. And that's it. Now I select my hero section and add a flexbox. And for this it's pretty easy. Vertical and justify between. And that's it. My section is done. I mean, almost, because of course I need to add some padding. So for that, I'm gonna add a padding, a global padding of 1.2 rem, for example. Yeah, this is good. Here too, and here too. I'm also gonna set up my heading, and for that I select the size, and I'm gonna make him take almost all the size of my screen. And that's it, my section is done. As you can see, I can scroll in my section, which is weird because I just have this. So I'm gonna give an overflow hidden, and like that, now every content which is outside this section is hidden. So now you can see I can't scroll my section. It's done, so let's do this on tablet. I select all my paragraph. I'm gonna reduce because I like when it's small, when there is a big difference between the title and the paragraph. So let me set up this. Let's fix this. And that's it. Now let's back to my title. And that's it. Right. And that's it. Now you can see that doesn't matter my screen size, because we set up everything in RAM. We don't have any problem of sizing. And this doesn't matter if you are on mobile or on tablet. If you can see on mobile, tablet, everything is working well. So for this, of course, I use the fluid responsive. I will let you go on Tambien /product/fluid responsive. I will give the link in the description, and after you can have access to the tool. I mean, here you have a tutorial by Mael, and here you have the tool to set up the fluid responsive. So this is another video and I will explain you. But anyway, once this is set up, your way to build a website will be super easy. So now let's continue what we were doing. So we have our first section, and now let's build our second section. First we create a section that we're gonna call sticky section. And to this I will give a width of 100 the width and a height of 300 VH. And now you can see we have a long div of 300 VH. And inside my sticky section, I'm gonna add another div called image wrapper. And to this wrapper, I'm gonna give it 100 the width and 100 VH. Like that, it take 100% of my width and 100% of the height of all the screens. So my wrapper is set, and now inside my wrapper I can add an image. So the image I think is already there. It's there. So I'm gonna just call image and give a width of 100%. 100%. Why? For it fit to his parents. So we take 100% of the width of his parents, this wrapper, and 100% of the height of his parents. And as you can see, the image is a little bit deformed. So for this, you just need to add the image in cover, and like that. Doesn't matter, same, doesn't matter the size. What I did, I forget something. I had the cover on the image wrapper. So let's correct this, and that's it. My image is in fit cover, like that. Doesn't matter the size or the width of my screen, the image fit. And as you can see, when I'm scrolling, my image doesn't take of course, the full height of my sticky section, and my image is still not sticky. So for that, we need two things. We need to set his parent as a relative, and after we select our image wrapper and set as a sticky. Like that, we can see that the sticky is relative to the sticky section. Like that, the wrapper will stay on the view and stay sticky on 300 VH, the size of the sticky section. But as you can see, it's not working, because of course you need to add a sticky by the top, and for this you add a 0, and you can see that now when I'm scrolling, my image stays. I mean, of course you don't feel it because you're not scrolling, but you can see that now the image stays sticky. So this first step is done, and it's cool. So now we're gonna build the final section, but before build it, let's just do the responsive of this section. I always like to do responsive section by section. Like that, I know that it's done and I don't need to come back to this, because honestly, I mean, actually we need to do nothing here, because honestly, the responsive is not a funny part for me. So now let's build the last section, and we're gonna call this section final section. So for this, same 100 the width, 100 VH, and you can see that my section is available. So now we're gonna create the content inside this section. So for that, I'm gonna create a wrapper called content wrapper. I'm gonna give a width of 100% to fit to the width of his parents, the final section. And the height, I will say automatic, because it will depend on the content inside this wrapper. Now I'm gonna select the final section and also display a flexbox, align center, justify center. Like that, you can see that if I select back my content wrapper, is center. And now inside this wrapper, we just need to add all this. So actually, it's pretty easy. So first we're gonna build, we're gonna have 3 div, because we're gonna have first this line, second the CTA, and third this. So let's build the first one. We're gonna call info final, and I'm gonna give a width of 100%, height auto. Same actually for the last section, up, and the second section that we're gonna call CTA, I'm gonna give a width of 100%, and let's see here, would you have a size of 211? So here you write 311 divided by 16, and you write rem, and we have the size of our CTA. This is a technique that we use because we use rem. Same Mael did a video, so I will put the link in description if you are not familiar to this. It's an awesome way to create responsive, accessible, and easy website. So that's super cool. It's really you really get faster in your process. So I highly recommend you to use rem when you design something. Add a stroke. And that's it. And for we see the left side and the right side of our CTA, let's give to our final section. No, actually I'm gonna give to my content wrapper. We're gonna give a 1.2 rem. On the sides. And that's it. Now you can see. So with CTA, I'm gonna convert this into a link block. And inside this CTA, I'm gonna add my headings. Here, I'm gonna select all H4 and I click on Align Center. And to my CTA, I add a flexbox, Align Center, Justify Center. And that's it. CTA is done. Now I'm gonna get my paragraph and add it. I change the text. And that's it. And by the way, we need to give also a 1.2 margin by the top, also 1.2, like that. Now we have the real space. I'm gonna add a heading, H5 I think, yeah. So we're gonna add 2 headings. And we select info final, give a flex box, horizontal, and justify, space between, like that. They stick on the left side and the right side. And that's it. My section is done. So now we're gonna do the responsive quickly. That actually is good when you take time to do the things well. Actually, the responsive is pretty fast. Here, maybe we're gonna reduce the size of the height of our CTA. And let's see on mobile, this is perfect. And that's it, our page is built. We have our first section, we scroll, and the image stays sticky. And now we have this third section. So now we're gonna create the animation. So for that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a wrapper. Inside the image wrapper, and we're gonna create a wrapper with inside there is 4 div like this, and that's it. We will put in absolute position, and after we will create the animation that while we are scrolling in our long section, you make disappear the slides. So now I select my image wrapper. Inside, I'm gonna add a div block, and I'm gonna give an absolute position, and I'm gonna say you take the full width and the full height of your parents, the image wrapper, and you can see is relative to the image wrapper. So let's do it, and you can see our div is fitting to the image wrapper. So we're gonna call this div wrapper animate div. So now inside this wrapper, I'm gonna add a div, and we're gonna call it rectangle animate. And I'm gonna give a height of 100% to fit to the height of his parents, the wrapper animate div, which is also fitting to his parents. We're taking the full width and full height. So we have this rectangle giving 100%, and we're gonna say 100%, but we need to divide per 4. So /4, it's 25, but it's 25 100%. Just for be sure, I'm gonna give a relative position, and now I'm gonna duplicate my div. But as you can see, I duplicate and I don't see him. So now I select and I give a flex box horizontal. And now you can see I have my 4 div, my 4 rectangle. So that's it. Now I'm scrolling and I don't see any more my image. So what I'm gonna do now is to jump to the animation. But before that, because we're gonna animate in different speed and different moment, we're gonna add a combo class, and we're gonna give a class for the first div of 1, for the second rectangle class of 2, the third rectangle class of 3, and the fourth class of 4. Like you will see that it's important for our animation. Alright, so before create our animation, we're also gonna change the anchor point, because we're gonna animate, we're gonna create an animation of scale. We're gonna say you scale from 1 to 0 from this anchor point. But for this one, we will say the same, but from this anchor point, and this one also. So let's do it, and we select our rectangle animate 1, and we go in transform settings and give an origin point. Let's check from the down bottom, and that's it. Same for the number 2, and the origin point is on the top, and same for the third origin point at the bottom, and the fourth origin point at the top. And now let's create an animation while scrolling the view. On the class sticky section, we're gonna create a new animation called transition. All right, okay, and now I'm gonna add my rectangle, an animation of scale, same for every rectangle, scale, and wait, and scale. I'm gonna delete this. So now you can see I have my 4 rectangles here, the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3. I'm gonna select and unlock the width and height locker. Like that, we just can play with the height. So the initial state will be 1. So it means that all our div are here and expand. And we're gonna duplicate, move to 100%, and change it to 0. So now if I preview, you can see that when I'm scrolling, it's working. But what we're gonna do is also change the curve and give in-out quart curve to bring some life to our animation. And also what I don't want is that the animation is playing till the end, and finally I don't have time to see my image. So we're gonna go move, for example, every point, let's say 50%. And now let's see, I'm starting to scroll, and that's cool, you know, things have time to, let's say 60. Let's move to 60. And also in animation, what is cool is like when the movements are asynchronized, because here you can see when you scroll, finally you have the elements moving at the same speed, and this is not cool. So what we're gonna do is first, for example, move 1 second at 65, or maybe like this, you know, like 75. Let's see. This is better. Maybe it should be even like this. Now you just need to play to see what you like the most, you know. And this rectangle should be maybe like this, play with this. You just need to play. This is cool, you know. That's it. We reveal our image and our transition is cool. We have time to see the image. So that's it. It's working well, and you can see that the animation is working on every device. I mean, of course, on mobile, the screen is more like this, so it's working. And that's it. It's simple as this. Our super transition. And here we can also animate our city, but it will be for another episode. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Let me know if you like this kind of content, and if you have other things that you would like I animate on Webflow. Drop this in comments, like the video, and also subscribe to the channel to receive a notification when a new video appears. So thanks a lot, and see you in the next video.